Living in a world I can't control, it gets to me. I'm frightened by the change inside my soul, it goes through me. I wish you could have seen me as before. Don't need no heartbreak, not anymore. I wish you could have seen me as before.
So I've been covering this Fulford story, and I released information about something that is much more secret than UFOs. And I was called today after I put this online, and this particular individual was called by two different people. And one of them said, "Do you like David Wilcock?" That was how he started the conversation. And, he said that both of these people basically said the same thing, which is that I need to get part 2 of the article out tonight. They wouldn't go into detail, but I was told that that if I was tortured, that would be lucky, and that probably I wouldn't make it, but that if I get through the next 3 days, that I'll probably be okay. But that I would be much safer if I could get this information out tonight, because I was led to believe that if someone is going to come and talk to me and give me the gun or the money game where they try to buy me out or threaten me with death and maybe narco-hypnosis or something like that, mind control kind of things, I don't know. But that basically all I have before that team could show up here is tonight. So I felt like, I'm sorry for crying.
To tell us the story, because this is going to protect you. The truth.
Okay.
Putting it out there. This is what's going to protect you. Okay. Once it's out there, they can't touch you. It's in the public domain. So let's get it out there.
All right. I'll pull it together. Fulford has never. Okay. I guess. Okay. The context. This is what I now know. I have been in I've been in touch with Benjamin Fulford. He came out on the scene in 2007, as we all know. And what he ultimately has been saying is that there's an alliance of 117 nations, and those nations are aligned against the Illuminati, which, if you don't know, is the secret political leadership of the G5 countries, and not a whole lot else anymore. They were running a lot of other countries by proxy. They were having puppet dictators running a lot of these countries in the Middle East and in Africa. And those countries are now claiming back their sovereignty. And the tip of the spear of what they have been planning to blow this whole thing open is a lawsuit. Fulford has been talking about this lawsuit on his website for at least a year and a half. The website was published. It was filed. Fulford said it would be filed on November 15th. It was filed on November 23rd. It's 111 pages long. It's incredibly intricate. I downloaded it when it first showed up. I thought it was bullshit when it first showed up because they quoted from Wikipedia regarding the Davos World Economic Forum. I wrote a long missive on Benjamin Fulford's website saying that I thought this thing was bullshit. After that, the people who were responsible for filing the lawsuit contacted me personally. We began a relationship which has led to an extensive amount of contact. They have sent me over 500 photographs. They have sent me dozens of documents. These documents apparently have put a bounty on my head. I now have seen the Book of Maklumat, the Book of Codes. I have seen the exact documentation that will bring these people down. It's in my possession. I am soon going to be getting it, very soon going to be getting it to other people who already have the Wilcock file. You people know who you are. Please do not inspect the file. Only go with Category 1 distribution if something happens to me. If you look in the revealing folder, I have a list of criteria. Do not release Category 2 unless the criteria of the revealing folder are met. At least 3 of the points in that folder must be met before you release Category 2. But Category 1 would only occur if I am killed. Okay? If you don't hear from me in 3 or 4 days, then go ahead and put it out there. In addition to that, if I put out a code phrase, as you guys know, because it's in the revealing folder, and that code phrase says that if you see that in my next update, then you have to go with distribution plan 1. And that's all in the folder. Okay, so this is what we need to do. This is the plan that I put in place. I never expected I would need to use this. Carrie, you know I told you I recorded everything. It's a betrayal, but I recorded everything that happened when I was on the phone with Henry Deacon. I told him this when he was out here. That's part of what's in that file. There's a lot of other very juicy things in that file. Don't make me do this, please.
Listen to this one and ask yourself, why is no one covering this story? There is a fake bond scam, we think. 2 middle-aged Japanese men reportedly caught trying to cross from Italy into Switzerland with $134 billion in bonds. $134 billion, remember that number. It presents 2 possibilities, both are really bad. Either they're fake, which means people are trying to flood the market with fake cash, and it's probably a country doing that, because remember, bonds are the same as cash. Or worse, it's real, and some country, some sovereign fund is trying to quietly dump their reserves. It would have to be a country if they're real, because nobody has this much money. That is 1% of our GDP. We just got no comment from the Treasury Department. They said, we have received your question about U.S. bonds. We've received your question about U.S. bonds seized at the Italian border. These bonds are evidence in an ongoing investigation. We will not be able to comment at this time. Sorry, we can't be more help, U.S. Treasury. $134 billion of bonds. Can we put the chart up on which countries have that much? Here are the top foreign holders of U.S. Treasuries. China, $763 billion. Japan, $685. United Kingdom, $152 billion. Russia, $137. The value of the smuggled bonds, $134 billion. That's gigantic sums of money.
Either way, it's an incredible scale, whether it's a government dumping some of their holdings or if it's a counterfeit operation. It's unlike anything we've ever seen, not just in size, but also sophistication. The fact that it's this long before they can just dismiss them as being fake or say these are real.
Right. So who would have the technology to fake that? Would that be North Korea? And
I would imagine any government that prints currency could probably procure a printer, extremely high quality printer.
Right. So this would be you think only possibly a government would be able to do this?
It would be the kind of technology that you would expect only a government to have.
Okay. And if they are real, this is what people.
Well, every day the market wakes up to some news out of someone in Russia or China or Japan making some comment on the dollar. Either they're getting nervous about holding it, or Some days they come out and say they're confident in the dollar, but the market's completely on edge on this question. Will foreign governments keep buying our debt? So if it is real, and if there is a foreign government that's sort of secretly trying to dump some of their dollar holdings, that's a big story. That really tips the story in one direction.
Apparently these bonds are old, and they come from the 50s and the 60s.
Well, that's one of the questions that makes people question its veracity. These types of bonds, Kennedy bonds, supposedly would be issued in the 50s or 60s. The reason that they were, $500 million face value bond, it's almost hard to believe that we ever issued those. Apparently the reason was, they're bearer bonds. You have to send in a coupon and collect the money. Well, if you're borrowing a lot of money, you want to have huge coupons, because otherwise it's just too much of a pain to keep sending them in. There were some reports that said the date on the bond was from 1934. That would lend credence to the idea that it's some sort of counterfeit fraud operation.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll follow this because one way or another, it's not good. Somebody is trying to print mass amounts of our money, and which would be, well, our Fed's doing it, our Treasury is doing it. Why not everybody? And the other is people are starting to tire of our nonsense here.
So, past, present, future, you exist, the body changes. Is it not clear?
That's clear.
Yeah. So therefore, the conclusion that when he'll not have this body, he'll have another body. You are sitting here. If you don't sit here, you go. That does not mean you are sitting, opportunity is lost. You are sitting here, you sit somewhere. Similarly, the change of body is going on. Therefore, the conclusion is that after you give up this body, you'll have another body, as you have already done. What is the difficulty to understand?
The seeming difficulty is that while the body is different from that of a boy,
Different body must be different. Therefore, that is called change of body. Unless it is a different body, where is the change?
the memory is there, the boy, and or the spirit is there.
The memory, sometimes we may not remember. Just like this child, he may not have memory when he was very small, but you have got memory. When he was a small child, you are doing something, or he was playing with some cats and dogs, but he does not remember that. But you remember it. So, simply because he has forgotten, does that mean that the incidences were not present? So this argument is not very strong, because I cannot remember. You do not remember so many things. But the fact is this, that you are changing from this body to this body to this body. Therefore the conclusion should be, after this body I will accept another body. And that's a fact. As you have accepted in this life from one body to another body, there is a process how to accept it. Similarly, under the same process, you accept another body when this body is no longer useful. Just like at night, you give up this body, you take your subtle body and you go somewhere. You're sleeping in your room, but you are working in a different place. Don't you do that? Mm-hmm. So, because this body is still useful, therefore you come to back again this body, and in the morning you wake up with this body. So death means when this body is useless, you do not come to this body, you accept another body. This is called death. That subtle body takes you from this body to the womb of another mother by nature's direction, that this soul shall get this kind of body. So the soul is entered in the womb of another mother's body, and then the body is prepared by the mother's blood and flesh, and when the body is sufficiently capable of working itself, then it comes again and begins its work. This is birth and death. The soul is eternal. Therefore, a sober man should think, why should I change my body? Why this trouble I shall take? That is human sense. If I am eternal, why not my eternal body? Eternal existence, why shall I die? This is human sense. Unless one comes to this understanding, he is animal. Because animal, by nature's law, is going on. He does not know. Then a human form of body, when he understands that I'll have to change this body, I'll have to get another body, then the question is, what kind of body I shall get? That is human intelligence. By nature's way, we are getting body, but that is on the selection of the nature according to my work. If I work like animal, I get animal body. If I work as demigod, I get demigod body. If I act as trees, then you get tree body. If you acted like dog, you get dog's body. Nature's way. Therefore you find so many varieties of body. This philosophy does not appeal.
By the end of the 18th century, the Illuminati seemed to have completely disappeared everywhere. But the Illuminati was not really gone any more than the secret societies that preceded them. They just went underground and added one more item to their list of dark goals: infiltrate and bring down the Catholic religion. When we look around the world today, what do we see of the secret societies? Masonic chapters exist in the open all around the globe as a mainstream organization. The Order of Knights Templar today exists as the top-ranking Masonic organization in the York Rite of Freemasonry. What goes on inside Masonic halls is still relatively secret. Probably known only to their upper echelon members are the dark rituals, goals, and the vendetta against the Catholic Church. The Masons and Templars have very effectively integrated themselves into the world's most respected societies. To a lesser degree, the assassins have appeared publicly periodically throughout history. In the early 1800s, they were visible in India as they came under the direction of the Aga Khan, who they believed possessed divine powers. In the latter 1800s, the Aga Khan brought them to Afghanistan, where they developed a lasting relationship with the British. Later, the Aga Khan's descendants further infiltrated Western culture. One prominent example was when Prince Ali Aga Khan, grandson of Aga Khan II, married American actress Rita Hayworth. Are the assassins, as a secret murderous order, now a thing of the past? The bloodshed occurring today at the hands of Islamic extremists would say the assassins are alive and well. The Priory of Zion also continues to this day. In fact, it has been reported that a number of illustrious figures in history have served as the Priory's Grand Masters, and there is corroborating evidence. In 1975, a discovery was made in a Parisian library. Parchments were found called Le Dossier Le Carré. These documents indeed reveal that some of the secret members were Leonardo da Vinci, Victor Hugo, and Sir Isaac Newton. The Priory has been credited by some with the creation of the European Union. Former President of France, François Mitterrand, was believed to be a member of the Priory, and many other powerful people. As for the Merovingian bloodline the Zions were pledged to protect, it continues on. Through incestuous intermarriage, most of the royal families of Europe can claim Merovingian descent. And it is said that from these royal families have come all 44 of the United States presidents. These connections around the world through the Priory of Zion provided the Illuminati with the means to influence politics and power around the globe. But what about the most secret society of them all? Adam Weishaupt's Illuminati, the brotherhood that vowed to bring all the other secret societies together to control the world. Is it still actively pursuing its diabolical plan of world domination? Indeed, shocking new facts that we have uncovered reveal that it is stronger than ever today. Studying a top-secret society is much like studying the currents of a lake. The ripples on the surface give us clues to know what is going on in the darkness below. The Illuminati's grand plan required that it infiltrate the governments of all countries around the world. In our extensive investigation, we focused on just one target, the former Soviet Union, to see how it was manipulated by the Illuminati. An effective way to gain control of a government would be to penetrate its intelligence structures. Newly released information from the files of the KGB provides some unprecedented insight. Now that the Cold War is over, some highly classified information is being smuggled out of carefully guarded vaults in what used to be the Soviet Union. With the change to a market economy here, many items never before available to Russians are finding their way to the black market. They say that everything is for sale in the new Russia, including state secrets and the spies who kept them. After the collapse of the Soviet Union came the dissolving of the KGB. The new government formed its own new security and intelligence agencies, employing many of the old KGB personnel, but leaving many without jobs. Even those with employment were often not paid as promised. We found that many former KGB employees were eager to give first-hand accounts of their classified activities within the agency for the right price. However, when the subject of the Illuminati was introduced, No amount of money could induce anyone to talk about it. We took this as a definite sign that we were on the right track and getting dangerously close to uncovering the presence of the secret brotherhood within the KGB. The former KGB employees were willing to direct us to black market sources where we might obtain further information, but at our own peril. Though most leads proved to be ultimately unproductive, we found that with perseverance, money and a bit of luck, it is possible to acquire classified Soviet documents. Using a hidden camera, we recorded numerous meetings over a period of months in which we attempted to obtain relevant materials. This transaction between one of our Moscow contacts and black market dealers proved to be one of the more successful ventures, though as you'll see, not without a few tense moments.
I'm talking, we need more money, okay? But we can get, okay, let's do that. Like, give us 5,000 and that's okay, and the rest you can be, like, tomorrow, the next day, like, whatever. 5,000 is a deal, that's it, I can't do that. This is that was all I have. Okay, so okay, come on, let's talk here. Hey, run up!
Finally safe from the black market dealers, within some of these documents we found corroboration for the most valuable piece of information related to us by the ex-KGB agents. Just as we had been told, indeed, the KGB carefully recorded their activities in documents, films and tapes. And these were kept in storage in a holding facility beneath the KGB headquarters under the highest security. These were probably the most sensitive records possessed by the agency, for they would illuminate in graphic detail the most intimate activities of the KGB and possibly the connection to the Illuminati. The documents we purchased from the black market dealers represented a major breakthrough. They not only confirmed that more revealing KGB materials existed, they also told us where they were kept. Again, we went to our black market sources, now armed with this new knowledge. We believe that with the demise of the KGB, most of the safeguards protecting its records would be gone. Someone out there must have the knowledge and access to be able to supply them to us for a price. Over the course of the next 5 months, we employed our sources to try to obtain specifically these top-secret records of the KGB. This transaction between one of our Moscow contacts, an interpreter, and a local black market dealer yielded astonishing results. The location of this meeting is a textile factory in the Zakorniki district of Moscow. This is the office of the Russian entrepreneur who owns the plant and uses it for both legitimate and illegal business. After introductions and some initial small talk, the dealer is asked whether the KGB materials are on the premises.
What analogy can we draw between the Freemasons and Al-Masih ad-Dajjal? The Freemasonry movement has its origins and its roots in ancient Israel and in the Old Testament. A lot of the symbols which are used by the Freemasonry and a lot of the beliefs in the Freemasonry system comes out of the ancient scriptures, ancient Jewish scriptures. But the Jews have transformed the Freemasonry movement to be an international movement, not an exclusively Jewish movement. So that the link between Freemasonry and Judaism no longer exists today in the popular consciousness. So a Prime Minister of Australia can be a Freemason, yeah? And a Prime Minister of Britain who is not a Jew can be a Freemason. The reason why they've done that is so that they can use this movement, the Freemasonry movement, as a front through which they could pursue their objectives without allowing themselves to be identified as the actor. So they can remain as the hidden actor behind the Freemasonry and the Illuminati.
चिंतामणि प्रकर सदमसु कल्पवृक्ष लक्षावृतेषु The big airship 747 is flying because the pilot is there. And the pilot is a soul, powered by another bodily machine. That is missing point in the modern civilization. Because who is working with the machine? That they do not know. That is ignorance. It is said in Sri Bhagavad Gita, Ishara sarvabhutanam riddeshe arjuna tisthati Brahman sarvabhutani jantrarurani maya. Jantra means machine. Actually they are finding that a big, nice machine, computer, without an operator it does not work. And this huge machine is working without any spiritual touch. Just see how foolishness. They think automatically work. Nature is working automatically. Do they not think?
They think there's a mind, but not a soul.
That's all right. Something is there which is working. Now that may be mistake. You call it soul and mind. That is next understanding. But the machine is not working independently. That should be understood first. Then how the machine is working, that will be next chapter. So they have no understanding even how the machine is working. Mura nabhijanati mamebha paramabhyam maya dakshena prakriti swayate satcharaja. That they do not know, Muras. So if you do not know how the machine is working, then what is the value of your education? Education means enlightenment. You do not know what is the final cause. The huge body is working as nature. So many planets, so many big planets like sun, moon, they are floating in the air. And who has made this arrangement? There we see every day. And everyone is speculating. It is being done like this. Another philosopher comes, he does, it is like this. Another says, it is like this. Naso nijjasya matang na bhinnam. A philosopher is not a great philosopher if he does not defy the other philosopher. Is it not? So this process is going on. I defy you, you defy me, that's all. But what is the real fact? Neither you know, neither I know. But we write big articles. That is going on. Just like this finger is part and parcel of my body. Whatever I am ordering, it is immediately carrying out. I say, make it like this, it will do. So, but this is dead matter. It is acting mechanically. The brain directs immediately the finger and attack, like machine. This whole body is just like machine. But soul is not machine, mechanical part. It is spiritual part. So therefore, as I am directing the finger, as being machine, it is working. But if somebody else, a friend or servant, I may direct him to do something, he may not do it. So when the soul misuses the independence, then he falls down. That is material life. Material life means misusing the independence of soul. Just like a son's duty is to obey the father. But he may not obey. That is his madness. So when this soul, misusing the independence, becomes mad, he is sent in this material world.
It seems puzzling to me that one would be so foolish.
Because by independence you can become foolish. Otherwise there is no meaning of independence. Independence means you can do whatever you like. That is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, that Jathechasi tatha kuru. Find out this verse in the 18th chapter. That independence is there. After instructing the whole Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, Krishna gave him the independence. Now, whatever you like, you can do. Krishna never forced him to accept the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. He gave him the independence. Now, whatever you like, you can do. And he agreed. Yes, now my illusion is over. I shall act, as you say. The same independence. Yes?
This is in the 18th chapter.
Thus I have explained to you the most, like the Sanskrit first?
Yeah.
Iti te jnanam akyatam guya guyataram maya tvirish yaitar asheshena yate chasi tatakuru. Thus I have explained to you the most confidential of all knowledge. deliberate on this fully, and then do what you wish to do.
Yeah. Now, if you say why this whole should become so foolish, so that is misuse of independence. A intelligent father has got intelligent son, but sometimes he becomes a fool. So, what is the reason? That he is this part and parcel of the father. He should have become exactly like the father, but he does not become like the father. I have seen in Allahabad, the big lawyer, barrister, Mr. Banerjee, his eldest son was also a barrister, and his youngest son, on account of bad association, he became a ekawala. Ekawala means in India there is a carriage drawn by one horse. So he liked to be an ekawala. That means he fell in love with a low-class woman, and by her association he became an ekawala. There are many instances. Therefore, it is the duty of the human being how to control the mind, not act like cats and dogs. That is human being. He should be inquisitive. Why this happening? Why this happening? And he should take education. That is human life. And if he does not inquire, if he does not take education, then what is the difference between him and the dog? He remains a dog. He has got this opportunity of human life. He should take advantage of understanding what is what. Not to keep himself in the dog status, simply eating, sleeping, sex life, and defending. That is the distinction between dog and human being. If he does not become inquisitive, how to control the mind? He is not even human being. And dog never inquires. Dog knows that when I bark, people become disturbed. He will never ask how to control this barking habit. Because he is dog. He cannot do that. A human being can do that. People hate me. I do something wrong. How to control my mind? That is human. That is the difference between human being and dog. That's what Vedic injunction is. Go and inquire. You have got this human form of life. Athata Brahma Jigyasa. Now this is the time for inquiring about the soul. Tad vijnanartham sa gurumeva avigachet. If you want to understand this science, then go to proper guru and take lessons from him. The same thing as we instruct our children. If you want to be educated in the higher status of life, go to school, go to college, take lessons. That is human society. The dog's father will never ask the dog, child, go to school. No, they are dogs.
Messiah,
Rick Clay from the Cosmic Mind blog. He's dead now. It came out saying that he committed suicide, which is a complete farce. There's no way that he committed suicide. He came out on a radio interview at Red Ice Creations for 4 hours talking about just this blue beam, the fake alien invasion in 2012. The symbolic research that Rick Clay did into the Olympics, he narrowed it right down to the 2012 London Olympics. And just a few days after he did this radio interview, his blog was shut down. He stopped posting to all his forums. His friends couldn't find him. We all were trying to get a hold of him on the Ike forums. Nobody could. And then now he committed suicide.
Do you, your voice also? Do you, your voice is also?
The people that are putting out this propaganda, the truth movement about 9/11, are the ones that attacked us on 9/11. Why? Don't you know their phrase? Order out of chaos. They want chaos. They don't want you to have a solution. No, no, no. They don't want you to be able to unify. They just want you to rise up, like chickens with their heads cut off, so that there is chaos or anarchy. They want you to rise up. Nobody's solving anything. It's just a bunch of propaganda bullshit about 9/11. People send emails to each other and talk about it all the time, but nobody's doing anything. They need chaos for order. These people have a history of pointing their fingers at themselves. They did it when they switched from dictatorship to hidden hand. They're doing it now. They're exposing what's happened on 9/11 through these fake underground truth movements. It's because you're like a chess player that's thinking 3 moves ahead, and you're playing somebody that's able to think 30 moves ahead. So you catch their bishop in 5 moves and say, "Ha, I got your bishop." And they say, "Ha, yeah, I know you did, and I knew you would, and in exactly 5 moves." And then 3.5 minutes later, checkmate.
Do you, your voice also? Do you, your voice is also?
It could very well be that Christianity and a lot of these religions were designed, their very purpose, thinking this many moves ahead, designed to fail. How? Why? Well, if they steal the teachings of Christ and then create this Jesus deity, this Trinity, which isn't what it was, then point their fingers at themselves like they always do, expose the Babylonian symbolism, the satanic symbolism of the religions they created. They could do that in hopes to make you abandon all Christ's teachings as well, do you see? If you don't know that they stole those teachings, then you'll think that they created those teachings. They expose the deity as symbolism, and then everybody will have their big sigh of relief. Oh, we don't have to be good. We don't have to follow any of that. You see, the ultimate last-ditch attempt to discredit Christ. Why? That opens the door for the New World religion of sorcery, or Satanism, for the utopia. It has to be that because there's no way these people doing what they're doing could have given the metaphors that Christ gave to create some symbolic deity. The two wouldn't go hand in hand. So, it really, from what I've been learning, what I've seen, they stole his teachings to draw people into both Christianity and Satanism. Then they're going to point the finger at the symbolism of Christianity and other religions so that people release all of the teachings of Christ, thinking it was a fraud, for the final entrapment. It's very important that you stay balanced. The primary foundation of what you are is love, and that's what they don't want you to know. And the easiest way to do that is to come in the name of love and slowly tear you away from it, redefine it, to ensnare you in the web.
Do you hear voices also?
This is a dollar bill, and on the back of the dollar bill, there's a pyramid with one eye. Now, the one eye is the sun god, Re. This is the Masonic god. If you look, you'll see the pyramid is built except for the top. The eye is suspended above the top. It hasn't come down yet. Because they believe until they finished the Masonic project, which is the what they say on the bottom, Novus Ordo Seclorum, and then Annuetta Cheptis, he is pleased with our project. In other words, the God they believe in is pleased with our project. What is the project? The project is literally the secularization of the world. To completely strip the world from religious beliefs. This is the project, and that is why it is called Novus Ordo Seclorum, a new secular or worldly order.
this government doesn't want. They'll plant dope on you. They'll find something in your hotel room. They will do something, and you'll be taken off. Or like usually, if you're a researcher, you'll just disappear, and no one will know where you are, and nobody wants to talk about it.
Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
You said in past lectures that for one who wants to take up bhakti, the work that you're engaged in is non-stop. This has been a source of confusion for myself and maybe other people. Could you sort of delineate what is meant?
So when you take up bhakti, your work does not stop. It's confused.
No. Bhakti, that's what we are defining. Bhakti, definition of bhakti means Undami Asta Sunam Jnana Karma Mahapratam Mahapujena Krishna Sunam. That is bhakti. Try to understand what is bhakti. You are following me or you come with? You come forward. You come forward. Try to understand what is bhakti. Bhakti means we have no other desire than to satisfy Krishna. That's like Arjuna. Arjuna satisfied Krishna by fight. And he became a in the battlefield, Arjuna was hesitating. What is the use of killing my own men, my family men, my brother, my nephew, my grandfather, all on the other side. And he was to fight with them and to kill them. So he was hesitating. He was a warrior, very great warrior, he knew, and I fight, I can kill them. Though they have come to fight with me, they do not know. But I know they are my men. So why shall I fight with them? Let them enjoy. I don't want. That was the feeling. But after understanding Bhagavad Gita, when he came with understanding that it is his duty to satisfy Krishna. So, he sacrificed his own conviction that he would not kill men. He satisfied Krishna by the same heart. He was a warrior. So he did not change his position. After reading Bhagavad Gita, he did not become a Vedantist or went away to Himalaya for yoga practice, give up fighting, practicing. No, he did not change. But he changed his consciousness. That is what. Our present moment of consciousness is that we are working for our own senses. When this consciousness will be changed, that we have to work for satisfying Krishna, then our life. You have got to change your work or position. But when you understand that you have to work not for your personal self-gratification, but for satisfaction of Krishna, then there is no question of changing your position. Changing your consciousness. Then that's the question. First of all, this is clear. Doctor does not mean that we'll have to change everything. No, he hasn't got to change. Simply change this consciousness. This is good. Change his consciousness in favor of Krishna. I am acting now. I like this to do. This is how. I like to eat like this. I like to sleep like this. So present position, material position means my life. And spiritual position means Krishna's life. That's all. I agree to the Krishna's life. Material position means I simply want to satisfy my life. Therefore, Krishna consciousness means to change this mentality. My life. But to accept the principle of satisfying Krishna is greater life. Bhakti means to act according to Krishna's life. Is it clear? It does not mean change of place, change of occupation, change of mentality.
What if you're engaged in some occupation that Krishna does not like?
What if you are engaged in some occupation which Krishna does not like?
That you have to learn from the Krishna's representative. What he likes, what he does not.
You should accordingly give it up immediately.
Therefore you have to accept spiritual mantra. Jasya prasadat bhagavat prasad. If the spiritual master is pleased, then you know Krishna is pleased. If spiritual master is displeased, then you know that Krishna is displeased. He cannot be in contact with Krishna at the present moment, in the beginning. Therefore, you require the help of Krishna's representative to learn whether Krishna is pleased or Krishna is not pleased. But your business is to please Krishna.
I'm not living in a temple now, I'm working, and I'm married. So, what should my activities be like?
You should make your home a temple. What is the difference between temple and home? This is a temple. The next house is a house. This is also made of brick and stone. That is also made of brick and stone. And it is called temple because here the business is Krishna. And that is called house because there is no Krishna business. So if you make your house Krishna business, then that is also temple. You do the same thing at the members here at home. In your apartment, in your house, with your wife and children. You are independently, spend independently, but do it for Krishna. Then your house is temple. That we want. Here the temple means like simply giving example how to live. So this example can be followed everywhere. Every house can be turned into a temple. Yet everything is Krishna center. Similarly, if in your home you make Krishna center, not you center, then your home is also temple.